Everybody. Oh, sorry. Good afternoon, everybody. Holy smoking guacamole. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, good afternoon, and I hope you are all well. Please let me know what you are occupying yourself with this weekend. I have had just a really cool time with a friend, which was nice. Ended up getting some lunch together, and it was pretty cool, like some positive energy. I also did my conga class this morning and I enjoyed it that much that I am convinced now that I'm going to do it weekly. I'm going to put some money aside to do so that's pretty cool. Because man, it really does get the endorphins flowing, which is pretty good. Secondly, a really cool update about myself, or a really cool turning point about myself, was I implemented a strategy that T. Harv Eker in his Million. Now, I do speak about this book a lot because I don't think I have ever read a book that has changed my life so significantly. As in, it just has kind of switched my brain. Besides Mel Robbins, like Mel Robbins is just a whole different ball game, and she's incredible. But the Secrets of a Millionaire Mind has definitely helped me rewire my brain about money, and I didn't realize money was such a big deal for me, or at least my perception about it or conditioning about it has been disengaged to the extent that I thought it was. So anyway, I implemented a technique which I will share the page number and probably just the strategy itself in a post or even under the comments here. But basically, yesterday I think it was, or a couple of weeks ago, whatever, I learned that there was a strategy of separating your money into percentage amounts across different bank accounts or different savings accounts or whatever. And there are so many different people that recommend that, you know, and all this stuff, but I never perceived it as a percentage thing where it's like you separate it by percentages. And I think somewhat I've had different approaches where sometimes it's a percentage, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's a, you know, whatever it is. But he introduced the idea that you also have an account that's also your play account, as in every month you have to spend the amount that's in that bank account, which introduces the idea that you're balancing your life a bit more. And I think a lot of people perceive money as you have to either invest it or spend it, or you have to save it. And actually you have to do both, but you also need to have some sort of balance in between where you save to have fun. And I think it's definitely like blown my mind a little bit. And anyway, so yesterday I set it as one of my goals to divide my money up in the percentages and the accounts and name my accounts the way that he suggested. And it was such a cool thing today because I went to Costco or whatever and went to go buy stuff, and normally when I go walk around there I just, you know, pick whatever off the shelf, even if I feel like it or don't feel like it, I don't know. And I never know how much money I've actually got. And I'm very much a spender when I'm kind of emotionally compromised, or I just don't manage my money as well as I want to, and I end up with quite a small amount of money per day or per week or whatever. I end up spending a lot of my money, more than I should, and I have a very negative relationship with money. So anyway, I decided, I was like, right, my necessities account, which is 50% of the amount of money that you have or earn, that necessities account will be contributed to any bills, food, anything that is actually a necessity in your life. And so what I did was like, all right, so I have this amount of money in my account, and then I went into my initial impulse where I'm like, oh, maybe I can just take it from one of my savings accounts or whatever. But I'm like, no, I decided to separate it for this thing, and so I'm gonna do it, and I did. And I had the biggest like kick about it because I was like, okay, so I divided this, I have this much for this, and I have this much for this, and even though I didn't fill my petrol tank up completely, I stuck within my budget. And it was pretty exciting actually. So anyway, I So that was a cool thing for me. So I highly recommend the strategy. I mean, I highly recommend listening to the book full stop, but I'll still post the strategy. Hopefully you'll be able to implement it, you know, in your own life, however. And it's kind of put me more excited about the way I spend my money, because I'm like, that's okay. Even though I've spent almost all my money on petrol, groceries, whatever, I can still, at the end of this month or next month, I can still spend my play money. I have still got money at the end of this month to spend for enjoyment. So it's pretty cool, actually. So I was pretty excited by that, and I just wanted to share that because I feel quite proud of myself. I think I'm kind of buzzed on the idea that I had Conga this morning, and I actually really enjoyed it. I had exposure to it at Ladies HQ launch last month, which I mentioned in the last live, and the person who ran it had so much enthusiasm about it that I wanted to know if she ran more of it, and she doesn't, but she does casual workshops here and there. But I was so excited by it that I researched and I found another Conga class that I wanted to try, and you know, I've had all sorts of things happening over, you know, the last couple of weeks that I haven't been able to attend, but this week I committed to myself to attending, and as a result I'm like, right, I'm gonna purchase a package deal so that I save a little bit of money, and I'm gonna, you know, it's an investment for myself because the positive like energy I feel from this morning is so exhilarating. So they're my kind of general updates. I still have a few goals to tick off this morning or today, but I'm pretty proud of myself. Last night I had a phone call with one of my friends from Adelaide, and I was really excited by that because we haven't seen, I think we calculated we haven't seen each other in like 6 years or something, or we've known each other for 6 years and we haven't seen each other for, you know, at least 3/4 of that. So and it also put me into perspective about the concept of how we meet people and how we develop relationships as a result. Like, her and I were discussing, and we actually met as a result of like some stranger asking me to, you know, get her contact details or something, or I can't remember what it was. Anyway, the point is, such a weird moment actually triggered a really beautiful friendship, or really cool friendship that has lasted like longer than most other friendships I have, actually. And even though I haven't seen her in like 4 years, and she's tried to book her flight like twice already, but she's planning to come like later this year and stuff, and it's really cool. Like, you know, some relationships or some friendships last quite a long time and you don't realize how they actually started. So I guess my general question is, how did we meet? Like, if you're my Facebook friend, or have we met in person? How did we meet? Like, how did we get in contact? You know, do you remember, or what was your first impression of me, or whatever? And you don't have to comment it. You know, you don't have to comment it. You can share like in messages if you want. Some of us, you know, I think I've already spoken to one person who we discussed how we kind of met, where I haven't actually met them in person, but we've connected online as a result of me reaching out to one of their posts. And, you know, relationships and friendships can form that way, and it's fascinating how that happens. So anyway, how did we meet? Or tell me a story or whatever of how you've met your, you know, partner, best friend, whatever. Or just reflect back on, you know, some of your closest friendships or relationships or family members or whatever, and reflect back on how you actually met and how that friendship or relationship developed, because it's really interesting. It really is. Like, I thought, you know, I don't know, there's no special way of starting a friendship. It just happens organically, whatever the case may be, circumstances around it, whatever, and it's really exciting. So anyway, you know, it's really cool. So that's my kind of update today. I'm kind of on like a little high at the moment, as in I'm just like filled with energy right now, and I kind of want to spend it productively to an extent. And I just wanted to check in with you guys as this is my day 11. I can't believe we're already halfway through the month. We're reaching the end of financial year. And it's just crazy. I've made it 11 days of doing live videos. It's freaking crazy. Anyway, so and I've also started a new audiobook called Atomic Habits, and I don't remember how I came across the book at all. I think someone recommended it or something, but I have it downloaded on my Audible library, and I was like, all right, I'm going to try a new book to listen to, and the author's story is absolutely incredible. So I 100% recommend the book, even though I've listened to the first 15 minutes of it and it's already captured my attention. So things are happening, and you know, things can get shit, things can get hard, things can get challenging. I'm going through quite shitty times at the moment as well, but these kind of little milestones and little implementations of habits and routines that I'm implementing and little changes I'm making about myself is actually causing me a little bit of excitement and energy, bringing back some passion back into my life. You know, certain things are changing for business, things are changing for income, so many different things are changing for me, and even though they're freaking huge changes, it's like I'm actually quite excited about it. So yeah, good to see you all, good to check in, and thank you so much for listening. I hope you're having a great weekend so far, and if you're not, I hope it gets better for you. Try to think about something that you're positively associated with, something that brings you joy, something that brings you passion, and you know, tune into that, or like take action on that, even just a little bit. Even if you have to overcompensate in certain regards, spend that money on whatever makes you feel good in the long term, you know. So I know that I technically, if I make the excuse I can't afford paying a package for conga classes, but for some reason I can afford binging on Macca's, it's like, what's more beneficial for me in the long term? Buying the package for the conga class. So it's pretty cool. So there are a lot of things that are happening, and I'm quite excited. I hope you guys are doing well. So I'm going to tune out now. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. And there's one other thing I was seeing on someone's I think it's Debbie Collins or someone, one of my Facebook friends. I see she's doing like some sort of challenge of like, what are you grateful for? And I'm interested in maybe asking that question today. So what are you grateful for? Whether it be today, in general, and you know, just what a grateful challenge I think she's doing, which I might start next month actually. So maybe I'll implement that, where next month it's a what are you grateful for challenge. So I might steal it off her. I'll see if I can ask her if I can steal her challenge. Anyway, so I'll chat to you later. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you have a lovely day. See you. Bye.